we examine one of the largest increases in the entire fiscal year 2026 budget of the government. Ang total budget po ng DOTR is set to receive 189.3 billion pesos or a 115% increase from last year. Is that a correct figure, Mr. President?
That's the correct figure, Your Honor.
Yes, so malaking pondo po ito, and with the budget this big, of course, we also expect big results. And not only in infrastructure, but also in job generation. Expenditure program ng DOTR, sa committee report po natin sa Senado ay 189.289 billion, which is higher by 8.51% from the GAB na 174 billion, 174.436 billion, but lower by 4%, 4.08% from the NEP level, which is 197.331 billion. Is that the correct figure, Your Honor, distinguished colleague?
That is correct, Your Honor. That's the correct figure.
Thank you, Mr. President. Maybe it would also help and give light to what the Senate President made mention a while ago, no? So, mas mataas po yung binigay ng ating committee report mula po doon sa GAB level, Mr. President. I was listening attentively to the interpellations of our Tita Ganda, Senator Loren, and we have learned a lot, and also will no longer touch on some of her questions. And it's just that I'm also a bit concerned with regard to continuity of the programs of the department. Every time po nagpapalit ang administrasyon, nagpapalit ang presidente, nagpapalit ang secretary, minsan nagkakaroon ng disruptions. Hindi pala minsan, parang almost sure nagkakaroon ng disruption, no, Mr. President. Kaya I share the sentiments of Senator Ligarda. Mr. President, uno, at the onset, may I just put into the records our sincerest thanks and gratitude to our chairperson, Senator Gatchalian, Senator J.V. Ejercito, for sponsoring the budget of DOTR. We examine one of the largest increases in the entire fiscal year 2026 budget of the government. Ang total budget po ng DOTR is set to receive 189.3 billion pesos or a 115% increase from last year. Is that a correct figure, Mr. President?
That's the correct figure, Your Honor.
Yes, so malaking pondo po ito, and with the budget this big, of course, we also expect big results. And not only in infrastructure, but also in job generation. But before I go to job generation, maybe these figures would help, as the Senate President a while ago made mention. For 2026, ang total expenditure program ng DOTR, sa committee report po natin sa Senado ay 189.289 billion, which is higher by 8.51% from the GAB na 174 billion, 174.436 billion, but lower by 4%, 4.08% from the NEP level, which is 197.331 billion. Is that the correct figure, Your Honor, distinguished colleague?
That is correct, Your Honor. That's the correct figure.
Thank you, Mr. President. Maybe it would also help and give light to what the Senate President made mention a while ago, no? So, mas mataas po yung binigay ng ating committee report mula po doon sa GAB level, Mr. President. Mr. President, let me go to the meat of this representation sa advocacy, which is job generation. Alam natin yung departamento ng Department of Transportation ay napakalaking sektor para po tignan ng ating pamahalaan when you look at job creation and job generation, Mr. President. May we know, first question, may we know how big is the sector in terms of employment at ano po yung percentage nito sa ating gross domestic product. I have some figures but I'm not sure if this is correct figures na isinabmit po sa atin. Just to put on record, Mr. President. Employment po ng sector ng transportation.
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. President, based on an ADB study, the South Commuter section of the North-South Commuter Rail System alone is expected to generate a total of 350,000 direct, indirect, and involved jobs, Your Honor. In the North segment of NSCR, if it's included in the Metro Manila subway, MRT-7 and LRT-1, Cavite extension are included, the number will easily exceed 1 million jobs created.
That's direct and indirect, no? Mr.
Direct and
President?
indirect, Your Honor.
So, Mr. President, yung sa buong sektor ng transportasyon, we're looking at, dito lang ho, no, sa binanggit po ninyo, about 1.3 million sa dalawang proyekto lang. But in the totality, Mr. President, we have gotten this data that states right now the Philippine transportation sector is employing 3.7 million workers. Please correct me if I'm wrong, if these figures are inaccurate. 3.7 million workers as of now. And if that is the case, then that is 12.7%. That's 12.7% of our total labor force, Mr. President. Malaki po. In fact, there's also a report that the Philippine transportation sector covering yung rail, yung roads, aviation, and maritime, it's rapidly growing. It's a rapidly growing industry contributing to 13% of our GDP. Would this be an accurate or at least close figures, Mr. President?
Yes, Your Honor, according to Secretary Lopez, that is the correct estimate.
That's
Your
a
Honor.
correct estimate.
Yes.
So yung 3.7 million workers, binabanggit nyo po, yung dun sa dalawa na binanggit nyo po, madadagdagan pa ng 350,000 direct and indirect jobs dun sa MRT-7, etc., another 1 million. Dagdag po yan, hindi ito kasama na cumulative ang lahat, Mr. President, ng sektor, ng buong sektor, Mr. President.
Yes, Your Honor, that's additional, especially once operational already, these existing railway lines that are being constructed.
Malaking bagay po, Mr. President, and the distinguished sponsor would attest to this. Ever since we became friends and seatmates and brothers here in the Senate, we always talk about this particular topic of infrastructure in railways, in roads, etc., especially railways because that's very close to the heart of the distinguished sponsor. We always talk about job generation, Mr. President. So I think it is important also from this representation's point of view to look at the proposed budget of the department and say, how many jobs are we looking at? How many jobs are we projecting to generate by the transportation sector? Perhaps ataduhin po natin, no, in this particular budget that we are discussing, maybe we can find out, meron po ba tayong tina-target or committed job targets per sector? For instance, railways, sa roads, sa maritime, sa aviation. Meron po ba tayong ganitong mga pag-aaral as to how many jobs will be created, Mr. President?
Usually, Your Honor, Mr. President, that for example, they will submit a study. For example, we're applying for an ODA or that's for or any requirement. For example, with JICA, ADB. That's part of the feasibility study, yung pong jobs that will be created or be generated because of the said project, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. President. And you know, I asked that question because I found out, Mr. President, distinguished colleague, that the DBM only approved 158.294 billion under the NEP out of the 464 billion requested by the Department of Transportation and Railways. Is that a correct figure, Mr. President?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Yes. So, Mr. President, having said this was further reduced to 135 billion under our very own Senate committee report on the GAB, with cuts heavily affecting capital outlays, Mr. President. So, Mr. President, itong mga nakat po na ito, at kanina tinatanong ko po, binanggit ng ating sponsor, meron silang mga pag-aaral, meron silang mga preparation tungkol dito, yung trabaho para sa Bayan Act is already a law, yung master plan, employment master plan ng pamahalaan ay gumagana na. So gusto nating malaman sana, Ginoong Pangulo, maapektuhan po ba yung naging target, naging, I don't know if you already had a commitment with the DepDev and DOLE and the council that is taking care right now of our employment master plan. Mag-a-adjust po ba dahil dito sa mga kaganapan na ito, Mr. President?
Your Honor, Mr. President, through the Senate's intervention, the major priority programs or foreign assisted projects, especially the North-South Commuter and Metro Manila Subway System, will be assured that it will be full blast from now. Unlike when 2 years ago, when, as I mentioned earlier, that yung pong funds nito were lodged in the unprogrammed funds and really had disastrous consequences. Nag-delay po, and then we had commitment fees, which resulted in JICA going to the President himself to complain about the delays. So medyo
Because
nakakaya pa.
it was transferred from the regular GAA to the unprogrammed. Is that
Is correct.
Accurate, Mr. President?
From a program appropriation, it was lodged in the unprogrammed appropriation.
You and I, Mr. President,
We
distinguished
know that. We
colleague,
know the reason.
know very well the reason. Yeah, as you mentioned.
That is correct.
And you also, Mr. President, distinguished colleague, you also know very well that this representation is allergic to that unprogrammed funds. And the chairman of our Senate Finance Committee, who just stepped in, know very well the challenges and the hocus-pocus happening with the unprogrammed funds. But I will not go there, Mr. President, but I'm more interested, again, in the job creation, in the commitments, probably if there's a commitment from the department as to how many jobs will be created. Because you made mention, Mr. President, distinguished colleague, that with the 3.7 million employed Filipinos in this particular sector, you're looking at additional 1.3 million just with the two projects that you made mention a while ago. So that would increase the number of employed workers in the Philippines, in our country, by at least 1.3 million, and that will reach at least 5 million workers in the sector, Mr. President. Is that a correct statement? Despite the fact that the request made by the department to the DBM ay hindi po naaprubahan, Mr. President.
Yes, that's a correct figure or estimate, about 5 million, but it will just be delayed a little considering that the project will be delayed from 2028. It was pushed back to 2032. So
2032.
Apo, 4 years in the delay as a consequence of that lodging it in the unprogrammed funds. So, ganun kagrabe, yung naging epekto. So, they are still confident
I'm a bit confused, Mr. President. Dahil parang 1 year lang naman yung difference, but naging 2032 ho?
Because the reason being that the billings or the progress billings during that year, that it was lodged in the unprogrammed funds was not only for 1 year. It was an accumulation of several years. Nagkaroon pa ng suspension of works. So nagpatong-patong talaga. So sad to say that the project has been pushed back by 4 years.
So, Mr. President, the additional 1.3 million jobs that we were supposed to generate and create through the two projects that the distinguished sponsor mentioned a while ago, i-distribute din po yan in the next 5 years. Is that correct? Or it will be achieved by next year, Mr. President? Kasi ongoing naman eh. It is possible, right?
The direct employment will be distributed, Your Honor, Mr. President.
The direct.
What we have to wait for is the indirect.
Siguro,
Yun ang
Mr.
hintay
President,
natin.
I will no longer belabor the issue. Perhaps if we can also just get this data from the department to be submitted to this representation or to the committee at least, yung pong projected jobs that will be generated in this particular sector. Kahit po yung subsector na natin, railways, roads, maritime, and aviation, Mr. President, that would be good, Mr. President, so we can monitor and kung may kailangan tayong gawin, whether legislation or legislative action, we can help in any way we can, Mr. President.
Yes, the OTR Secretary said they will comply.
Mr. President, hindi ko lang makaligtaan yung pong requested capital outlay. Medyo mabigat din po ito yung capital outlay na hindi po binigay and at the same time kinat sa GAB, kinat pa rin sa ating Senate Committee report. Na ang nangyari po ay na-reduce ito ng 135.572 billion under the Senate Committee report. So ito ho, hindi po ito makakaapekto, especially na mostly capital outlay po ito, Mr. President.
What is more important, Your Honor, Mr. President, that yung pong foreign assisted projects natin, the main priority programs, masigurado na malagyan ng pondo. So that's why we put it in the program appropriations. So malaking bagay po yun. That will be our main growth driver for the DOTR. And then yung pong may portion will still be placed in the unprogrammed appropriations. But hopefully, with the support of Your Honor and the body, I will be proposing a special provision wherein once meron pong progress billing, meron immediate release already para wala hong delays because this was a concern raised by JICA and the Japanese Embassy. So yun po ang ating pong...
Mr. President, just for the record also, Mr. President, this was also discussed last year and this was also mentioned last year na ito po ay nandun mismo sa General Appropriations, the Senate Committee report, Mr. President. And nawala po ito Napunta po sa unprogram, hindi ho ba? So ngayon, Mr. President, ano yung assurance natin na by the time na aprubahan natin ito, pagdating po sa BICAM, hindi na mapupunta ito sa unprogram, Mr. President? Kasi binabanggit nyo, may ilan po na mapupunta pa rin sa unprogram, Mr. President. Is that correct, Your Honor?
We discussed this already with the chairman of
And it's
Committee on
good that the
Finance.
chairperson of the Senate Committee on Finance is with us right now, listening, Mr. President. So, Mr. President, can we also get an assurance, Mr. President, that this will no longer be boxed out from the Senate Committee report until the BICAM, until it becomes a law?
Yes, we discussed this already with the chairman of Committee on Finance, and we both agreed that the bigger portion will now be lodged in the program appropriations, including the government participation. Pero po kasi para hindi naman po masayang yung pondo, those that will be lodged under an program, as I mentioned earlier, pumayag din po ang ating chairman to have a special provision that once the progress billing arrives, priority po talagang tuloy-tuloy.
Ano po yun? Once
The progress billing is due and demandable, there will the release will be expedited as soon as possible without delay.
So ibig
Maglalagay tayo ng special
ibig
provision.
sabihin po ba, Mr. President, distinguished colleague, kung may capacity sila at meron ng progress billing, pwedeng ilagay na rin dun sa regular program. If. Tama po?
Pwede rin.
Thank you. Thank you,
Mas
Mr.
maganda
President.
sa program, but
Yes.
there's an assurance naman, and with this, the chairman of the Committee on Finance assured that there will be no delays. So, kahit na nasaan program, talagang
By
priority.
the way, Mr.
Tsaka
President-
wala na siya kaagaw eh. Unlike before, meron nung, alam niyo na po, yung sagip at yung mga siningit-singit, may kaagaw. Pero ngayon po, wala na siyang kaagaw sa program appropriations.
And saan program, Mr. President, just to put on record, saan program, Mr. President, ano yung mga prerequisites, Mr. President, bago mag-release mula po doon sa unprogram funds, Mr. President? Tama po ba na sabihin na kailangan may bagong buwis? Tama po ba na kailangan may overcollection sa ating mga government-owned and controlled corporations? Dapat po ba ay ito ay sertipikahan ng iba't ibang departamento ng ating pamahalaan? Is that correct, Your Honor, Mr. President?
There's no need for new revenue generating or any taxes, but those are excess revenues or excess funds that will be collected by third quarter or the end of the year, Your Honor.
And the Department of Finance participation would be
The Bureau of Treasury, Your Honor,
What? The Bureau of
will
Treasury.
certify.
Through the Department of Finance.
That
And
is
the
correct.
Department of Finance must issue a
Certification.
What is that? Certification. And then after the Department of Finance issues certification, the Department of Budget and Management would have to assure that the funds are available. Is that correct, Your Honor?
That is correct. Through the
So,
SARO.
you know,
They have to
mayroong
issue the
prerequisite,
SARO.
no? Kaya ho sinasabi nyo, mas maganda na nasa program.
That
Wala
is correct.
dun sa unprogram.
Ideally po, it is
Dahil
it
sa
will be better.
program, marami pong cheche-bureche. Hindi ho basta-basta.
And we will still wait if there are additional revenues, Your Honor.
Exactly.
Tsaka third quarter na. We can only avail of the funds by the third quarter.
And not one person, not one entity in the government can actually access or release the funds. Is that correct, Your Honor?
That is correct.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm very happy for the answer of the distinguished gentleman from Saman. Mr. President, let me go to another topic that I'd like to raise. But anyway, I will be awaiting for the report and the projected job generation creation for the 4 subsectors, Mr. President, that mentioned by this representation a while ago. Mr. President, yung DOTR po, as the good gentleman from San Juan would know, over the years, no, lagi nating tinatalakay dito sa Senado yung tinatawag na low disbursement rates, Mr. President. In fact, as of December 2024, nasa 54% yung disbursement rate and 48.94% naman as of 2025 in July, Mr. President. So itong delays in fund utilization, naniniwala po ba kayo, Ginoong Pangulo, na pagka merong delay sa fund utilization, meron din pong delay sa job generation? Would that be a correct statement, Your Honor?
That is correct, Your Honor.
So, Mr. President, what accounts for the low disbursement rate, Mr. President? And perhaps the more important question would be if we would know whether in this particular budget that we are deliberating upon, meron na po tayo, if there are measures, initiatives that are in place to ensure that budget delays do not translate to job losses or missed employment opportunities, Mr. President?
Your Honor, Mr. President, the obligation as of October 2025 is 79.27%, and the disbursement rate is 53.41%.
53.41%. So,
That's
Mr.
correct.
President, obligated na po yung 79.27%. And may we know, 53.41% po yung disbursement po, no? And we are targeting by end of the year, next week po, December na po, no? Halos December na. Ilan po yung mapapataas natin dito sa percentage na to? So, yun yung magandang itanong po natin. Kasi baka yan din po yung gamitin sa atin pag sinabi natin na kaya binawasan, tinapyasan ng DBM, tinapyasan ng GAB, buti na lang tinaasan pa ng konti ng ating Senate Committee report.
The projection of the OTR Secretary is that the obligation rate will be about 85% by the end of the year, and disbursement rate of about 75%.
So may catch-up plan na po tayo, Mr. President.
They have both catch-up plan and a cash disbursement plan, Your Honor.
Sige, baka pwede lang makahingi po ng copy nun para makita natin how they're going to do it, Mr. President. Mr. President, puntahan po natin yung PUV modernization. And then I'm sure this is also close to the heart of our distinguished colleague, the sponsor of the budget of the OTR. Lagi yung tinatanong sa atin tuwing napag-uusapan yung modernisasyon ng PUV. Ang tanong ho lagi, ito bang modernisasyon ng PUV ay nagbibigay ba ito ng tunay na bagong oportunidad sa ating mga jeepney at bus drivers? O ito ba ating pag-uusapan binibigay pangamba sa ating mga jeepney at bus drivers? Paano natin masisiguro, Mr. President, na pag ito ang usapin, kasi pag ito yung usapin, lumabas po kayo sa kalye, dyan sa Quiapo, dyan sa kung saan po, pag lumabas po kayo dyan, ang usapin na PUV modernization, hanggang ngayon po, hindi ko po nakikita na kasiyahan or joy yung mapifeel mo sa ating mga drivers, jeepney at bus drivers, but more of being anxious or nangangamba po sila kung ano ba yung mangyayari dito, Mr. President. So, may we know the plan and the strategy now of the department with regard to this, Mr. President? I actually remember, Mr. President, when Secretary Vince Dizon assumed office in the Department of Transportation, may isa pong execom, Mr. President, na bigyan ako ng pagkakataon na maupo kasama ang ating mga top leaders ng ating DOTR at nabigyan po tayo ng pagkakataon na makapagsalita doon, maging resource person ng ating mga kasama, Mr. President. So I'm really interested kung ano na po yung update tungkol dito sa PUV modernization.
Your Honor, Mr. President, according to DOTR, the Jeepney Modernization Plan is a good concept, a good program, and has to be prioritized and implemented. Nagkaroon lang ho talaga ng setback because of wrong implementation in the past, but now they are intensifying their efforts to improve the route modification and also operational consolidation. No? Magsasama-sama na po yung iba't ibang operators, no? They will try to resolve. And then when it comes to the jeepney, yung acquisition, DOTR has been negotiating with DBP and Land Bank to restructure the debt para po maging mas magaan po, no? To at the lowest interest possible. And they are now opening the project for tour players to come in to lower the cost of the modern jeep, no? Kasi ngayon po nasa 2.5 million pesos, medyo may kamahalan if it becomes an open po nila ito for players to come in, then bababa nila ng konti ng standard. It may go as low as 1.2 million pesos per modern jeep, Your Honor. So mas magiging madali, and hopefully with the equity subsidy, yung pong itutulong natin, it will even help the potential the operators at least to pay for yung kanila pong modern jeeps, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Especially nung marinig natin sa distinguished sponsor na inaamin ng ating departamento na mali yung mga nauna nang nais i-implement at nais i-force na lunukin ng ating mga jeepney at bus drivers, Mr. President. Natutuwa din po tayo na inaamin ng ating departamento na totoong pinipilit
Ano po? Hinog sa pilit noon. Hindi handa.
Hinog sa
pero pinilit po.
Hindi handa. Imagine ho, pinipilit, walang ruta. Doon sa Bulacan sa amin, ay, babanggitin ko sa inyo mamaya kasi halos 7 taon na ho ako dito, taon-taon na tumatayo about it. Kasi parang ang dami ho doon ng mga nabudol, mga co-ops, transportation co-ops, Mr. President, na pinabili ng mga sasakyan. So parang mayroong mafia na nakakopo, ito lang ang pwedeng bilhin na sasakyan. Dapat ito lang. And bumili ho, hindi nangyari yung modernization, nasira mga ulo ho nila. Wala na ho ngayon. Wala na ho sa transportation sector, Mr. President. And nakakalungkot lang, Mr. President, na hindi napapag-aralan pero ipipilit, kagaya ng sabi ng distinguished sponsor, hinog sa pilit. Kaya I hope and pray, Mr. President, na bago tayo magpilit ng proyekto, iba yung political will eh. Pagka tama naman yung gagawin, yeah, do it. No? Have that political will to implement. Pero pag alam mong mali, yung ruta nga, alam mo nang walang ruta eh, bakit mo ipipilit? Bakit mo ipipilit kung napakataas noong kailangan nilang bilhin? At walang option yung mga drivers, Mr. President. Mahirap naman po yun. By the way, Mr. President, how many drivers and operators will be affected with this PUV modernization? O meron bang, of course, may risk yan of displacement. Meron na po ba tayong concrete numbers, figures, para masiguro, masabi natin sa taong bayan na this time around, ready na tayo this time around, napag-aralan na natin, this time around, maraming options available para sa ating mga kababayan at hindi sila talaga pahihirapan.
The target is about 190,000 jeepneys, Your Honor, for modernization, Mr. President.
And we look at the drivers, operators, Mr. President. May we know if there are studies or assessment made by the department to ensure na hindi masyadong tatamaan yung mga may risk of being displaced, Mr. President, once we implement this program.
That's about, if 190,000 jeepneys are used to, about 300 to 400,000 drivers.
300 to 400,000 drivers. Anyway, Mr. President, how many are already, I'm sure mayroong mga nag-ano na po di ba? Ilan na po ngayon yung figures natin na nag-modernize, Mr. President? Out of the universe na target na 190,000?
At present, there are about 12,000 modernized jeepneys already.
12,000. Wala pa palang 10%, Mr. President, no?
Wala pa.
At pag tinignan lalo natin yan, yung mga ruta, mas lalong bababa yung porsyento, Mr. President. Anyway, Mr. President, you made mention about financing. Ano ho yung bagong tinitignan ng ating department para masiguro na mas madali na itong magiging modernization? Kanina, nabanggit ng sponsor natin, if I'm not mistaken, from 2.5 million, ibababa ng 1.2 million. And what about the financing, Mr. President? And will there be other options, Mr. President? Because I remember last time when they were forcing the issue, and I will use that word, forcing the issue, iisa lang yung dapat bibilin na brand para magamit at ma-implement yung modernization, which is ridiculous, Mr. President.
Your Honor, that will not happen again, as Secretary Lopez said that they will really open already the market so that other players can come in to lower the cost, to make it more competitive, and at the same time, they have lowered the standards already para nga din bumaba pa yung cost. Kasi from 2.5 million, target po nila bumaba na 1.2 million. And also, if you would add the subsidy of about 400,000, dati 200 lang yun eh. From 260,000, they have increased the subsidy to 400,000.
Malaki na.
So at least 800,000 na lang po yung pag-uusapan, no? Yun na lang po ilalabas. So 1/3 of the cost will be shouldered by the subsidy.
Yeah, thank you for that, Mr. President. I remember in the discussion about modernization, PUV modernization last time, even our government banks are already questioning, Mr. President, yung plano noon, no? So I hope by this time, even our land bank, our local banks would support this particular program, Mr. President. Anyway, Mr. President, what about yung mga locally made jeepneys, Mr. President, like Sarao, Malagueña, Mr. President? Naisip po ba natin whether or not pwede silang itap, pwedeng magamit, Mr. President, and part of this PUV modernization, Mr. President?
Your Honor, Mr. President, the reason why they are relaxing the standards so that the local players, no,
Can
that,
also come in.
so that the manufacturers that you mentioned, I think even Francisco Motors,
Francisco Motors,
meron na po
yeah.
silang modern jeep, no, that they have offered already.
So that's an option now.
That is already an option.
Thank you,
Hindi na
Mr.
yung dating
President.
ini-import.
Yes, yes. And that would mean job creation again for our kababayans. So hindi natin bibigyan ng...
So maganda po, 56 out of the 94 models are locally manufactured and assembled.
Ilan po, Mr. President?
56 out of the 94 models
56.
or 60% are locally manufactured
Nice.
and assembled.
That's good news, Mr. President, and music to the ears of our people who will benefit, Mr. President, from this program. Mr. President, let me go to another topic, Mr. President. you and I authored, Mr. President, yung Occupational Safety and Health Standards Law. And again, we thank the gentleman from San Juan for his support. Mr. President, gusto lang nating pag-usapan yung workplace safety and labor standards across DOTR sector. Ano po yung mga konkretong hakbang ng departamento to ensure their occupational safety? Perhaps my question would be how many inspections were actually conducted in a year? Or for example, last year across rail, across the country, yung mga road inspection, aviation, and the maritime sectors, Mr. President. At gusto nating malaman, Mr. President, kung ito'y yung mga mananakay natin na masisiguro that they are safe, Mr. President.
Your Honor, Mr. President, according to our Secretary, when it comes to the two over ODA funded or the foreign assisted projects, ito pong dalawang railway natin, very strict po standards, no? Every time there's an part of submissions, kasama po yung ano, no? Ang nag-check the consultant, JICA, the funders, ADB, and even the contractors, no, are being checked, Your Honor, and DOTR also checks, Your Honor. Medyo very strict and very regular po yung kanila pong checking and compliance.
So it's the different stakeholders who are inspecting, Mr. President.
That is correct.
Wala ho bang on top of it na from the department para masiguro na may accountability, Mr. President? Because safety is non-negotiable, especially, Mr. President, not just to the passengers, but even for the workers, the transport workers, drivers, mechanics, baggage handlers, airside workers, maritime personnel, who we believe face daily risk just to keep our transportation system running.
Your Honor, Mr. President, the DOTR Secretary said he's welcome to any suggestion from Your Honor, but he said that given that the Japanese, no, this is an ODA, and the Japanese consultants or contractors are in the management team are involved, they are very strict, Your Honor, when it comes to safety. So, but if there's a suggestion that DOTR how the OTR can better participate to make sure that they are on top of the safety procedures that will be followed. They are open to any suggestion.
Under the law that we pass here in the Senate, yung occupational safety and health standards, may inspectors din naman ang DOLE, no? Sila yung i-inspect ng mga workplace, Mr. President. But for me, I feel na yung workplace na pinagtatrabahuhan, yes, pero yung public areas where our passengers go, mga parokyano, whether doon sa mga pantalan, DOTR po yun, di ba? DOTR ang may jurisdiction po sa mga yon. And so, Mr. President, for example, may mga corrective actions na ginagawa po kayo kung hindi ito safe or may mali or may pagkukulang yung isang lugar, Mr. President. Sinasanctions niyo po ito, hindi po ba, Mr. President?
That is correct, Your Honor, Mr. President.
So, itong mga bagay na ito, Mr. President, merong particular bureau ang departamento para masiguro ang safety nila. Is that correct, Your Honor?
Your Honor, Mr. President, ito po ay delegated to the attached agencies. For example, for bus terminals, it will be LTFRB. For the ports, it will be PPA, Your Honor. Airport cap. For the airports, of course, it will be cap.
Yeah. Yeah, for example, yung mga mananakay, yung safety, yung I remember there was a news report doon sa walang life vest. Di ba? Sa DOTR po 'yon.
Marina po yan.
Marina,
Yes.
Mr. President. Yes. Mr. President, itong mga Coast Guard natin, and I'm glad that the Senator Lauren made mention about this. Yung mga Coast Guard po natin which is receiving 44.6 billion next year, and I'm glad na nasusuportahan po natin yung ating mga Coast Guard. Sila po, alam natin, they face not just harsh weather but geopolitical and maritime threats. And siyempre, kailangan nila ng protection at kailangan nila na masuportahan. How exactly are we improving our Philippine Coast Guard staff's welfare, benefits, and field safety on this particular budget for 2026, Mr. President? Example, Mr. President, do we have updated provisions for hazard pay habang tumataas yung tension dyan sa West Philippine Sea? Updated provisions on their proper equipment, mental health support, and rest protocols for overstretched crews, Mr. President?
Your Honor, Mr. President, at present, through the Senate's intervention with the recommendation of this representation and approved by Chairman Gatchalian, we have increased their subsistence allowance from 150 pesos a day to 350 pesos a day at par now with the members of the armed forces. And also, yung po mga may uniform personnel under the DILG, PNP, BFP. We have also increased. That's the Senate intervention.
Finally, Mr. President, because I have heard personally from Your Honor, the sponsor of the measure, about this plan, Mr. President.
That's
So
correct.
finally, it's
Yes, we more than doubled their subsistence, daily subsistence allowance. And then next will be the Philippine Coast Guard Hospital, which has been started. Hopefully, it will be completed in about 3 years. That will cater to Coast Guard personnel. And then
Sama mo ba yung families, immediate families nila dyan? Or just the
yes,
person?
definitely the
Yes.
families will
Thank
be
you.
included.
Thank you.
And then yung pong sayang po, hindi po na-aprobahan sa NEP, but we'll try again next time, yung emergency medical funds, no? Hopefully, we can approve this and allocate some portion for our Coast Guard personnel emergency medical funds for their for them. And siguro what we can do right now is, sabi ko nga, yung PhilHealth is, we almost doubled the subsidy, no? Since all Filipinos are automatically members, we can also make interventions with the PhilHealth president or officials that ito pong mga Coast Guard be given priority also.
Thank
Just
you.
in case, kasi given the nature of work, yung kanila pong exposure and the risk that they are taking by guarding our sovereignty, Your Honor.
Thank you for that, Mr. President. I'd like to put on record that this representation, together with then Senate President Mig Zubiri and Senator J.V. Ernesto, went to Kalayaan Islands. And we have seen the efforts and sacrifices of our men in uniform, especially our Philippine Coast Guards. And I'm happy to hear the report and the figures given to this representation by our dear colleague. Thank
Your Honor,
you.
if I may add, they are also receiving high-risk duty pay, hazardous duty pay, hazard.
Bago lang po yan,
Hazard
Mr.
duty pay.
President. Bago lang yan, Mr. President.
Existing po. This is
Existing.
existing. And the sea duty pay, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Let me go to another topic, Mr. President, so I can finish early. Yung JICA po estimated an increase in the losses per day due to traffic congestion in Metro Manila. Yung 2014 to 2022, binabanggit po ng report nila, 2.4 billion lang nun, Mr. President, nagsimula. 2014. Tapos 2018, naging 3.5 billion. A day po ito, daily losses po ito, no? But in 2022, nag-jump na po to 4.9 billion pesos. And because of the high volume of private cars, Metro Manila has become the world's worst traffic in metro area, topping the 2023 TomTom Traffic Index of metro areas. Drivers in Metro Manila lost the most time due to traffic congestion. Ang pag-aaral po, 117 hours a year, the worst among ASEAN countries. Yung volume of motor vehicles in NCR has increased by 1.1 million in a decade, 2013 to 2023. Average annual daily traffic rose to 3.6 million in 2023 from 2.5 million in 2013. Now you look at the reports being given by the Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers of the Philippines, o yung CAMPI. They already forecasted that 500,000, at least 500,000 new cars will be sold in the country every year. 2025 po, tingnan natin, no? 500,000, 500,000 new cars. Pero ilan ba yung bagong roads? Ilan ba yung bagong bridges? Ilan ba yung bagong daan na po pwedeng paglagyan nitong kalahating million? And I'm only talking about new cars, Mr. President. Parang dito sa Pilipinas, hindi yata wala akong nasisirang sasakyan dito dahil magagaling yung mga TESDA graduates natin Mr. President. So anong balak ng DOTR, Mr. President? Meron ho ba talagang plano? Lagi ho ito every year, no? Talagang napakabigat na usapin, pero kailangan ho nating solusyonan, kailangan nating hanapan ng solusyon at makita ano ba talaga yung plano natin when you talk about traffic congestion here in Metro Manila, kahit itong Metro Manila lang po, Mr. President.
Mr. President, Your Honor, probably we have been a car-centered society for so long. Nakalimutan na po natin yung mass transit, no? But now, because of the growing population and what really worries me, no, yung pong what you mentioned, is the volume of yung car sales natin every year. Dati po 300,000 na, now it's 500,000. So if you add that in 3 years' time, that's 1.5 million vehicles that will be added to our streets. So the only solution that that's why I've been really passionate about this, is really to fast-track all the railway projects. We have to move from a car-centered society to a mass transit-centered society. Otherwise, kahit na anong dagdag natin ng kalye, I don't think we will be able to keep up with the number of vehicle sales that is added to our streets. So 500,000, dati 300 lang, now it's 500,000. If you add po yung mga EV ngayon na nauuso ngayon, BYD alone was able to sell about 10,000 units. Kaya ang daming BYD. Ngayon, around, na wala, exempted pa. So, we're hoping that we can fast-track the South Commuter Line, the South Long Haul. The MRT-7 hopefully can be operational soon. Add more coaches in LRT-2, MRT-3. Hopefully, we can pursue again yung pong South Long Haul, yung pong papuntang Bicol, and the other railway system, Your Honor, Mr. President. That's my own, my appreciation, Your Honor, because not unless we really shift from a car-centered society to the railway mass transit, talagang magiging giant parking lot tayo in a few years' time with that much volume of vehicles that we have right now, total. Ito po yung total, no? Nasa 3.8 million na po yung total yung mga bagong sasakyan to the years, no? So, and 500,000 a year. So, that's it. I think we really have to fast-track the railway system. Kaya nga, with the intervention of the Senate, I'd like to thank our colleagues, that again, we were able to lodge the foreign assisted projects and the program appropriation to ensure their funding that will not be delayed anymore.
Thank you for that, Mr. President. I cannot agree more, Mr. President. And having said that, the only solution that we are looking at is mass transit. There's no way. I don't see any other solution, Mr. President, and I have to agree with you. But before I dwell and emphasize more on the importance of our mass transit system, for the meantime, what can we do? What can DOTR do in order to address this situation, Mr. President? Walang bagong daan, pero kalahating milyon. Ngayong 2025 lang, at binanggit ng ating distinguished sponsor, na halos 1.5 million cars, vehicles, ang nadadagdag. Meron po bang makapagsabi sa atin dito? Kung alam natin, kalahating milyon ang bagong sasakyan, ilan naman yung bagong daan? Huwag yung dating daan, ha? Yung bagong daan. Ilan yung bagong daan compared sa kalahating milyon na bagong sasakyan? Pag total po natin ito, yung EDSA lang ho, tuwing rush hour, napapagkamalang longest parking lot in the whole world. Kasi hindi umaandar ito ba yung goal natin dito sa Pilipinas, sa Metro Manila? Gawin nating parking lot ang buong Metro Manila. Yun ho yung mangyayari kung hindi tayo kikilos, hindi din tayo naghahanda. I'll go to this later, Mr. President, distinguished colleague, that when you talk about mass transit, where are we, Mr. President? I think all of us would want to try na maging part nito, Mr. President. Pwede tayong lahat mag-trend, etc. Pero, siyempre gusto natin maayos. Tuwing nakikita po natin yung rush hour na pila doon sa EDSA, doon sa mga railways po natin, na pagka umuulan, lumulusong din sila sa baha. Napakahaba ng pila, kulang yung bagon. Talagang madi-dissuade, demotivate na gumamit ng mass transit. But again, Mr. President, before I go there dun sa mass transit, ano yung ngayon na pwede nating gawin, Mr. President? Nakukonsulta ba ang DOTR dito sa mga bagong sasakyan na binebenta left and right? Of course, I understand, Mr. President, the importance of balancing, di ba? Kailangan natin ng ekonomiya. Pumasok dito yung mga mag-i-invest, magbebenta ng sasakyan. Magbebenta ng sasakyan, kalahating milyon na bagong sasakyan, pero wala namang daan. So saan gagamitin yung sasakyan? Bunta nga ho kayo dun sa Metro Manila. Dito lang, sa Maynila, Mr. President. I grew up in UST, Mr. President. Pag tinignan niyo po yung lugar dun sa area na yon, sa paligid, lahat ho ng paggabi ho, napakadami yung sasakyan na nakapark. So nag-file ho ako ng bill, no parking, no car policy. Pag wala kang parking, hindi ka pwede magkaroon ng sasakyan. Ako, napakadami kong nakaaway, Mr. President. Kasi halos lahat pala ng tao doon sa area, halos lahat, wala ho talaga silang parking. Pero pinapark nila yung sasakyan nila sa kalye, Mr. President. But these things, Mr. President, itong nararanasan natin, it's gonna get worse, Mr. President, if we are not going to step up our game or do something, Mr. President. I know long-term solution yung mass transit, but what about this time, Mr. President? Tatanggapin na lang po ba natin ito? Ngayong Pasko, magpapasko, talagang tatanggapin na lang natin na parking lot na ang buong Metro Manila.
Well, the dilemma of DOTR is that they can only talk about their ito pang mga rail projects, no. Sabi ko dapat wala talagang delays because this is the only way. As I will time and again say that railway is the only way to really solve all of this. But at present, siguro po yung roads kasi we are DPWH, the enforcement are LGUs and MMDA. Napakahirap po talaga no, with the present situation right now, no. Especially very alarming is what you mentioned, yung pong 500,000 vehicle sales every year. So again, we will just have to fast track and improve the rails para po we really have to have a shift from a car-centered society to a mass transit. And I think that this will have a lot of benefits, Your Honor, Mr. President. Hindi lang po ito convenience, hindi lang po traffic congestion. It will create, it will spread out the development, Your Honor, Mr. President. Pag natapos yung NSCR, kung for example, South Long Haul, we will create growth nodes and growth areas in different parts of the country and creating jobs in that area and thereby decongesting Metro Manila as well. So I think yun po ang solusyon by laying down the tracks. We create growth nodes, growth areas, we decongest Metro Manila, and we create jobs in the other parts of the country. Mahabang matagal na proseso, pero that should have been done 30 or 40 years ago, Mr. President, Your Honor. And that's what our ASEAN neighbors did when they invested heavily in infrastructure in the 90s. And now they are reaping the fruits of their labor. Pumunta lang kayo ng Bangkok, ng Indonesia, ng Malaysia, nako, nakakainggit. Sobrang nakakainggit yung kanilang infrastructure. And it's not rocket science. So we should have done that 30, 40 years ago. And hopefully we can now fast track and play catch up this time. Pakita natin na meron naman tayong positive, hindi pa nai-scandal. We are stalled. We cannot just go on crying over spilled milk all the time. Kailangan may pinapakita rin tayong ginagawa, Your Honor, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Gaya ng kasabihan ng mga matatanda, laging nasa huli yung pagsisisi. And that's the main reason why we wanted to raise this issue, kasi kung hindi tayo mag-step up, wala ho talagang mangyayari. Now, with regard to the mass transit, Mr. President, where are we now when you talk about mass transit? Ilan po yung mananakay natin ngayon? Ilan yung target natin para mapagsilbihan po sila sa darating na taon 2026, Mr. President?
Your Honor, Mr. President, ang immediately na naantay natin yung MRT-7, yung pong papuntang from Quezon City to San Jose to Bulacan.
At 1 milyon na trabaho,
Yes.
direct and indirect jobs ang kayang i-generate nito, Mr. President.
Yes, the projected operation will be first quarter 2027 with the 12 stations. So 2027 po ang target nila.
First quarter of 2028, full 14 stations.
And then by first quarter of 2028, the full 14 stations.
Yung first quarter of 2027, ilan pong stations? Sorry.
12 stations.
12 stations.
stations.
Your Honor.
Kasama na po dyan yung sa Bulacan, no, Mr. President? Sa second pa.
Hanggang Sacred Heart pa lang daw. So yung 2028 para po
Sorry,
yung sa
na-carried
Bulacan.
away, Mr. President. Bulacanyo. And so 2028 po ay ilang stations na po?
14 stations complete.
14 stations complete. By first quarter din, Mr. President?
Yes, Your Honor. First quarter 2028.
Thank you, Mr. President. So, that's, at least may good news tayong aabangan, Mr. President. But,
Sayang nga po kasi kung hindi na pushback, even partially operational sana yung Metro Manila Subway and NSCR by
you mean hindi
2028.
na pushback at di napunta saan program?
Saan program po? Na-delay tayo na 4
Ayoko nang
years, Your
balikan,
Honor.
Mr. President. Masyado nang masakit yung salitang unprogrammed. Mr. President, last point na lang po na gusto kong maitanong, Mr. President, yung pong digitalization ng LTFRB. Sorry, kanina nandyan na po kayo eh. Balikan ko ulit si Sir. Kasi, Mr. President, kanina binabanggit ni Senator Loren every time magpalit ng administrasyon, nag-iiba, nagpalit ng secretary, nag-iiba. Ibabanggitin ko yung mga tinutulungan natin na mga co-ops sa Bulacan. And some of them are here, by the way, Mr. President. Let me acknowledge them. Some of them are here. For the past 6-7 years, Mr. President, gulong-gulo sila dun sa modernization, Mr. President. Pero ito po, ang gusto kong tanong sa digitalization. May we know how will LTFRB's digitalization and expanded route monitoring activities improve yung pong accuracy of route rationalization nationwide? Ito ho kasi very important key element na would enhance our public transport efficiency would reduce corruption through automated processes and improve yung monitoring ng mga provincial, intercity, and last mile routes, Mr. President?
Your Honor, Mr. President, LTFRB is now undertaking ambitious digitalization program. Una-una po, online filing na. Pangalawa, they will already have digital mapping of the routes. So yung pong mga overlapping...
Matagal na nating inano yan sinuggest si Senator Grace Poe pa yung chair nun ng Public Services. Sige po, please.
Ngayon po, gagawin na po. Attorney Vigor Mendoza has committed.
Tatandaan ko yan, Brad, anong pangalan po, Mr. President?
Attorney.
Next
Well,
year, tatandaan ko yan.
we have confidence with Attorney Vigor Mendoza because LTO naman po yung kaniyang pong commitment when he was LTO head. Yung pong 12 million backlog na plate numbers, ngayon
Yes.
po 1 million na lang.
Yes,
no? So,
I remember that.
He,
We
ano
commend
naman, I
the,
think he
leadership,
delivers.
yeah.
So,
Thank you.
I am confident that with the LTFRB under Attorney Vigor Mendoza will be able to deliver ditong digitalization program, Your Honor.
Kaya yung LTFRB is set to receive 912 million representing 22.74% increase from the current year's budget of 743 million. So yung total amount po, yung bulk 357 million will be dedicated to the board's MOOE, including expenses for the conduct of route monitoring, validation, and surveys, inspection and of units and garages and other administrative activities, as well as expenses to support its digitalization initiatives. Ito po yun, no, Mr. President?
That is correct, Your
Yeah.
Honor.
Mr. President, yung last question ko na lang po. How will this translate to job creation for inspectors, survey teams? Nakita ko may mga survey teams, IT personnel, and regional staff. If available lang po, Mr. President, if we can request your estimate number of jobs that will be created out of this program of LTFRB.
Your Honor, Mr. President, they are now in the process of reviewing their organizational chart and they will be submitting ito pong yung bagong rationalization, sama na po yung mga bagong their expanded manpower.
Meaning tatanggalin na yung mga
Requirement, Your Honor.
mafia doon. Dami doon.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. President, I will end my interpellation by again thanking our dear colleague, Senator J.V. Ejercito, for sponsoring the budget of the OTR. We are in full support of their budget. We, as mentioned earlier, I sat with then Secretary Vince Dizon and the entire team during their executive session, and we support also our Secretary heading the DOTR. So maraming salamat po sa DOTR family. Senator JV, maraming salamat. Mr. President, maraming salamat po.
Thank you also,
God bless
Senator
you.
Joel, for the support, especially for our program, especially po sa railway projects natin. Maraming salamat.